Hello, hello, eBay sellers. Welcome to the August 2023 SuperSize sales of $100 or more video. Today's date is August 16th, 2023. Thank you so much for all the birthday wishes yesterday, August 15th. Number 57 for me. It was a wonderful day, and we are off to a great start for my 57th year. So thanks, everybody. Okay, we're going to jump right in. And again, these sales are from my Facebook group, where we have a dedicated thread every month for sellers to post their sales of $100 or more. So if that is you, make sure you are posting on this thread for possible inclusion in a future video. We're going to start with Hydran. She said, one of my dump boutique trash rescue finds. I started out with a $125 price tag, then bumped it to $150, and finally took an offer of $100 plus $26 shipping. Took over a year to sell. Such a cool, kitschy piece. This is a Bakova Guild for LL Bean fiberglass waste basket. So this was free. She found it in the trash and it sold for $100. Next up is Kim Womack. Bought at a thrift store for $5. Sold for best offer of $100. Could have gotten more but wanted a quick sale. Sold in less than a week. Danner boots are sought after for military and construction. The item is Danner boots, new with tag, suede boots, US size 9EE. $5, sold for $100. Next up is a repeat offender, Julie Gambino. Purchased at Salvation Army for $4.99, sold for best offer of $100. Original pricing of $225 was an error. I meant to post it for $125. Took about a month. This is a vintage 1970s turquoise Phoenix Native American Thunderbird necklace. $5, sold for $100. Okay, Kim Smith. I got this at Ross a few months ago. Paid $40. I sold it for $100. I hope to get more for it and probably could if I waited, but it's still a nice flip. I knew to buy this as I was looking for one myself and couldn't believe the prices on eBay. This is another Ralph Lauren bedding item. The pattern is Allie Paisley, and this is a full or queen duvet cover, new in the package. These vintage Ralph Lauren items are really hot right now, so make sure you're looking for them when you are searching through the linens or even the bins, because these are out there. So this was $40 and it sold for $100. Sam Denton. I picked up this Bible for free at a local thrift store last month. Sold for $101 on best offer. 100% profit. This is a New Chain Reference Bible, 1957 Thompson 3rd edition leather cover. So this was free and it sold for $101. And yes, just a side note, sometimes thrift stores, especially church-related ones, will have their Bibles for free. And this is a controversy out there in the seller world. Sometimes people think that you shouldn't resell them, but it's free. Once you have it, it's up to you what to do with it, and somebody may be looking for this. So you really are doing a service to rehome these items to the right people who want them. And you could find items free anywhere. Curb alerts, dumpster diving, free boxes at estate sales and garage sales. So I personally don't have any problem with this. I mean, if you find it and you can sell it, why not? Okay, Toby Crimmin. Red Wing work boots. Paid $25 for them. I listed them about 2 weeks after buying them. They sold for full asking price within 2 days. Very happy about this sale. Can't wait for the next great one. Congratulations, Toby. I've been watching you work on your eBay for several months and you are coming along. So these are Red Wing shoes. Classic Oils leather boots, $25, sold for $101. Kathy Hermans found this Patagonia messenger bag at St. Vinny's for $11.99, based on comps listed at $125. Buyer offered at $85 and I countered at $105, which he accepted. Took 1 month. So there you see, Patagonia messenger bag. Very cool item. And we have Allie House, who was also the guest on today's podcast. So Allie, this week is all about you because your item made the cover photo for this video. She talks about this in the podcast. She said, I was making a small pile at an estate sale and I had one item they priced for me at $3. Brought the mug down to my pile and they added $1. Found one more trinket and when I checked out the final price was $3 for everything. So this Tiki mug was basically free. Placed on auction and sold in 1 week for $109.52. About half a dozen others listed between $150 and $275. My minute investment allowed me to accept a lower price and gave a quick flip. The item is Steve Crane and Associates handled Tiki mug, red and yellow, vintage, green eyes, ceramic. $109.52 for this very funky looking mug that was free. So congratulations, Allie, and make sure to check out the podcast with Allie and hear all her backstories. She is a new seller and just doing a fantastic job. Okay, Mary Alice Fontenot Gray. I bought these at a yard sale for $3. Sold within a week for $110 on best offer. Vintage 1986 Treasure Craft Anti-M Collection nesting bowls. $3, sold for $110. And I had something like this back in the 80s, but my theme in my kitchen was, and I'm rolling my eyes here because why did I think this was a good idea, was the ducks. Everything had those ducks on them. What were we thinking back in the 90s? So here we are, 1986, kind of the same theme here. These things do sell. Moving on to Catherine Samples Farnsworth. Paid $6 and took a best offer of $110. Took 3 months. Marnie wool cashmere camel embroidered pullover sweater. Just your basic sweater. $6, sold for $110. Ken McNamara, $16, sold for $116. Thrift store find, sold in 10 days. Buyer was in Alaska. The item is Resistol Confederate Air Force Ghost Squadron cowboy hat. $16, sold for $116. Colleen Olson, Wow, this is fun. My second post. I picked this up at a garage sale for $2. Originally used for a camera and interior foam was deteriorating, so I pulled it out and sold it for $120 on best offer in less than a week. This is a vintage Halliburton Zero silver aluminum hard briefcase. Train case, camera case, could be used for lots of different things. $2, sold for $120. Cindy Minders purchased this in a lot of 3 vintage board games. Paid $14 for all 3. Discovered the Arctic Cat game was pretty desirable. Listed it for $150. Quickly had watchers. Sent out an offer and a buyer bought it at $120. I'm all about the quick flip. So this looks like a fun game. Vintage Arctic Cat Snowmobile Beat the Cat board game, 1970. Take a look at that. This is one that you should remember because look at the colors and the patterns and the font. It is so groovy, 70s. Christy Coffer paid $4.99 at Goodwill. This piece was made by a Greek artist who still sells their work on Etsy. Sat in my death pile for several months while we were in the middle of a move. Of course, I second guessed my asking price since it sold in just a few hours for full asking of $125. But that's okay. Happy with the profit, and you just never know when things sell that fast. Okay, I'm going to attempt this word. Valsamakis, ceramics, Greek tile wall art, horse, birds, men, maybe soldiers. Mid-century modern style. Yes, that is definitely a unique piece. $4.99, sold for $125. Holly Figure is back with another plush. Play School Snuzzle Pink Bunny. Found this at the Goodwill bins, so it only cost $1.11. One of the ears had 2 minor flaws, which I sewed. Originally priced it around $200, but kept dropping the price and sending offers. Ended it and did sell similar at $129.99. Buyer bought at that full price. All told, start to finish, it took 3 months. I had found one other new one still in a box a year or so ago, so it sold for $350. I'm surprised at this price differential, but still very happy with the return on investment. So there you see it, vintage Play School Snuzzles Bunny Pink Plaid Plush, 1996, $1.11, sold for $129.99. Kristen Whitus paid $2 total at Goodwill. Weight Watchers booklets from the 90s, sold for full asking of $129.99. Took about 3 months. Vintage rare Weight Watchers 1, 2, 3 Success Getting Started Kit. $2, sold for $129.99. And who knew in this day and age of technology and everything being digital that people would want hard copies of things, but they do. And that's good for us because we can provide them. Okay, here we have our perfume specialist, Nicole Gray Diaz. Paid $10 2 months ago, ran a 30% off sale to move some items quickly. The item is Chanel number 19 Eau de Toilette. It sold for $132.99. Great things come in small packages. Leslie Wilson. Don't overlook baby plush and blankets even if they look newer. Found this Costco plush giraffe pillow and blanket set for $5.99 at Goodwill. Found several sold comps of animals for $85 in the $85 range, but no giraffes. Though I did note they were discontinued. Sold in about 2 months for full asking of $134.99 plus shipping. This is a rare Costco Little Miracles Snuggle Me Giraffe Sherpa Blanket Pillow Plush Set. So she paid $6 and it sold for $134.99. Maria Del Vecchio has a beautiful item. This was free to me. My aunt was downsizing. I took best offer of $136. It took 18 months to sell. I received positive feedback on this one. I was just happy it arrived in one piece. This is a rare vintage Chatham hand-blown glass vase with multicolor swirls. That is definitely unique and quite beautiful. It was free and sold for $136. Next up is Summer Welling, and when I first saw this photo, I thought this was a step stool, but it is not. And a side note, I have received your emails that I am pronouncing this incorrectly. It is not le crochet, it is le crochet. So I am just not great at French. I make it Southern. So there you go. Thank you for correcting me. I don't want to look ignorant and pronounce things incorrectly. So she sold this Le Crochet trivet in about 15 minutes for full asking of $149 plus shipping. My entire collection is thrifted. I got it a couple of years ago with a pan in the same color for $100. I never used the trivet, so I wanted it out of the kitchen, but had severe regret the instant it sold. Oh well, there will be other treasures, and my husband is glad it's gone. He says I have too much le crochet. So this is a square trivet, blue-footed cast iron, warming or hot plate. Sold for $149.87. Who knew that trivets could be so expensive? That's a new one for me. All right, Rosanna Smoker, our friend in Pennsylvania. I found this vintage bedspread at the bins, so I paid under $4. Took about 5 months to sell for full price of $149.99 plus shipping. This is a vintage bedspread comforter, lightweight king size, mid-century modern. $4, sold for just under $150. Carrie Kochar has a Christmas item that sold in July. Accepted an offer of $150. I have sold a lot of Christmas lately. So there's your nudge. If you are holding back your Christmas items, they sell all year, and here's proof. This is a Williams-Sonoma large ceramic footed nutcracker Christmas holiday serving bowl. Accepted an offer of $150. I don't know what she paid for it, but couldn't have been much. Okay, we have Wendy Kruger with a piece of jewelry. Paid $20 at an antique show. Sold for $175 plus shipping in an hour and a half. I would have asked double on this, but it had a broken berry and a leaf missing. I hadn't noticed the leaf missing when I bought it. I couldn't even find this exact one, just other versions that sold. Most of the Trifari fur clips are valuable, some going for over $1,000. Vintage Trifari fur clip, flower, red, green, gold enamel. $20, sold for $175, and it wasn't even in perfect condition. Katie White, picked up on a free table in a driveway, so $0 invested, sold on auction for a great price. Vintage Polaroid SX70 Alpha 1 folding land camera with case, manual, straps, and it is leather. So $0, sold for $179.70. Love those free tables and boxes. Julie Sullivan Hollister forgot to post this last week. Paid $1 at a yard sale. Sold for full asking price plus shipping. Took 10 months to sell. The Rider Waite Tarot Deck Gift Collection, 78 cards, new. $1, sold for just under $200. Brett Stewart got this from a Goodwill for $15, sold for full asking of $199.99, sold in 6 months. The item is Two's Company Silver Metal Octopus Blue 6-shot glass holder. That is a unique item. Very funky. $15, sold for $199.99. And here we have KC. I purchased 2 of these tents at a thrift for $10 each. They sat in my death pile for years until I finally decided to tackle my camping department. I was still too lazy to actually set it up, but had no trouble selling the first one in 24 hours for $219.95. This is a Marmot Limelight 3-person tent. Perfect condition, used one time. $10, or was it $5 because he bought 2? Anyway, sold for $219.95. And Casey and I have a running joke that one of these days I'm just going to go out to Park City, Utah and shop his death pile because he claims he has like 1,000 items not listed. And that just makes me salivate just to know that pile is there. And I could go through it and bring some stuff back with me, get a U-Haul and just fill it up and bring it back. So it's kind of our running joke. But yeah, tackle those death piles because this sold in 24 hours. Nancy Barr Strohs bought a box of Barbies, clothes, and accessories at an estate sale for $30. Pieced it out, and this lot went for the most. Auctions on all. This is a large lot of vintage Barbie doll clothes, 60s and 70s. Sold for $248.49 for itty bitty, very old Barbie clothes. This just blows my mind that people pay this much for Barbie clothes, but here's the proof. Okay, our garbage man philosopher. He made up that name. I did not. Zachary McDore. A while ago, I sold a lot of sailboat brochures for $150. I found 35 pounds more at the transfer station, and the same customer offered me $250, free to me. So it just says a brochure lot for the customer. Apparently, he just made a special listing for that buyer. Free and sold for $250. Okay, Cheryl Green has an item that is at the top of my BOLO list. I'm always looking for these, have yet to find one, but I'm putting it out there to the universe. I'm going to find this at some point. She said, purchase this LL Bean canvas tote bag at an estate sale for $2. Despite some wear, which was clear in the photos and description, it sold for $250 literally minutes after I posted. Guess I should have listed it for higher, but still thrilled with the sale. So don't second guess yourself when things sell fast. You just never know if someone had an alert set up or, what's going on there. So it may not be underpriced. It just might be someone was looking for that. This is a vintage 80s LL Bean boat tote navy blue red canvas made in USA tote bag. $2, sold for $250. Diane Stumpf found this original oil painting of this yellow lab at a thrift store. Paid $18 for it, listed it for $4.99 a year ago. Took a best offer of $250, and I'm glad to say he made it safely to his new forever home. Vintage original oil on canvas painting yellow lab from 1970. $18 and sold for $250. So she said it took a while to sell. And just realize, yes, you do have those long tail items, but what you're doing today, right now, is going to come to fruition at some point. So just keep building that pipeline. Just keep listing things. Just keep putting things out there. Some items are going to sell within hours, like Cheryl's tote bag. Some are going to take a while. And this is a business that definitely requires patience. So just keep going and building that pipeline. Okay, we've got Paula, who calls herself Picky Old Fuss Budget on Facebook. Free to me, left in a house we rehabbed. I was familiar with this because our daughter has had one for several years. Only saw one sold in the last 2 years on Terapeak for $250, so priced a little higher at $279 plus shipping with best offer, but they paid full price within a few weeks. Not sure why it shows $111 shipping. They actually paid $73 because it's probably pulling off of your zip code instead of theirs. I don't know, but that doesn't make sense because if it was your zip code, it would be a lower price. So I don't know. Some things I just don't know. This is a Pottery Barn rotating carousel photo picture postcard stand. So you see these everywhere in thrift stores. They'll have greeting cards on them in like Hallmark stores. All kinds of stores use these racks. So maybe it was the fact that it was Pottery Barn that caused the price to be so high. Not sure. Okay, Courtney Dam. This $300 sale came in after 1 day of listing. I found this at an estate moving sale. It was part of a bundle deal, but was probably added in for $1. Best thing is I got 2 of them. I'll list the second one soon. Just excited for this sale. Haven't had a score like this in a while. This is a Tempur-Pedic remote control for the Tempur-Pedic bed. So $1 sold for just under $300. Leilani Mortland, finally a $100 plus sale. Bought this at a citywide yard sale for $25. Sold in less than a week for best offer of $300. This is a Wayne dry heat electric sterilizer. Interesting. $25 sold for $300. Colleen Olson, last one to round out the month. I picked this up for $1 at a garage sale. I knew it was old, but couldn't figure out why it had a local high school on the back. Used Google Lens to see what it originally was. Sold on best offer for $350 in about a week. This is a vintage 1940s World War II U.S. Navy gunner smock jacket. $1 sold for $350. Stephanie Manley bought on a local Facebook group for $15. Sold for full price in about 5 weeks. Wasn't getting a ton of traffic until I promoted the listing. Sold pretty quickly after that. This is a Daisy Rock Butterfly debutante electric guitar with strap, bag, and amplifier. $15 and sold for $479. Cheryl Henderhan. I couldn't quit smiling when I found this holy grail of embroidery hoops at a local church thrift store. Paid 50 cents. Sold in 2 days for full asking price. Vintage queen embroidery hoop, 5-inch round, felt lined thumb wheel. Okay, so this was 50 cents and it sold for just under $500 for an embroidery hoop. Who knew? Lydia Buscemi sold these dishes for a friend. Took best offer of $1,700 after about 10 days. The buyer got a good deal. Had never done local pickup before, but everything went well. The item is Villeroy and Boch, Acapulco, 12 place settings and serving pieces. Wow, that is a lot of china. I think I would have done local pickup too. So this was $1,700 after about 10 days, and she did this on consignment for a friend. And finally, we have Kayla McFadden, last but definitely not least. My husband and I have been selling on eBay sporadically since 2020 and had our biggest flip yet last week. Found at Goodwill for $2 and took a best offer from a collector for $1,800. It took a week to sell. This is a rare prototype Pyrex sunset wheat casserole dish. Can you imagine a $2 find sold for $1,800? And Pyrex is usually overpriced everywhere I see it, so I don't really dabble in that. But Kayla found this prototype that's very rare, so she's showing us this is possible. These things are out there. We just have to find them. Okay, that brings us to the end. Thank you to everyone who posts on the $100 thread. It is very educational, and I hope you learned something new in this video. Now get out there and tackle those death piles, get those holiday items listed, and I will see you next week with the seller shout out video. Make it a great week on eBay, everybody. Bye.